Welcome back, it's Zion from Uke on Demand, and this week we're teaching What a Friend We Have in Jesus. This arrangement is compatible with both high G and low G ukuleles. In this video, we're going to go over bar 1, but you can get the full tutorial and all the tabs at ukeondemand.com. So to begin, we're going to start out in an F chord, but it's not going to look like your typical F, like here. Instead, we're going to have that bass shape, but we're also going to be adding the ring finger to the 3rd fret of A. And before we go into this tutorial, I'm going to just play through that first bar, just so you can hear how it goes one more time. And to play that section, again, we're in that regular F chord shape. So again, index on the 1st fret of E, middle finger on the 2nd fret of G, and we're also going to have the ring finger on the 3rd fret of A. You're going to strum this entire chord once, and then you're going to pick the 3rd fret of A by itself. You can leave that chord there. And then we're going to have a slide. So we're going to pick and slide. And if you don't know what slides are, we do have a tutorial on them in our techniques library at ukeondemand.com. But a quick demonstration, we're just going to pick the 3rd fret of A and slide our finger up to the 5th fret while the string is still resonating. Just like that. After that slide, I'm going to come back down and pick the 3rd fret of A again. Open A, and 1st fret A. And so for that first measure, just putting it together one more time. And going into bar 2, or measure 2 now, you got your index fingers already where it needs to be on that 1st fret of the E string. You're just going to add your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the C, pick those together. And when I'm doing these 2-string picks, I like to stagger my fingers. Makes it more reminiscent of a strum, instead of doing it at the same time like this. So, but that's just a stylistic technique, you don't have to do that. And then ending this second measure with just picking the 2nd fret of C by itself. I'm going to pick the open C string, going into measure 3 now. And this whole time your index finger stays there on that 1st fret, because we're about to go back to it now. Open A, back to 1st fret E. Now here, if you want to keep it simple, you can just pick the 3rd fret of A. In the video, I believe I did a mini strum, where I just strum those top 3 strings, the open C, 1st fret of E, and 3rd fret of A together, just to make it sound a little more full. But if you want to keep it beginner friendly, you can definitely just, and easier to play, you can just pick that 3rd fret of E like it's written on the tabs. What I did was just a little extra. And then after that 3rd fret of A, whether you strum it or just pick it by itself, you're going to pick the open A. And then you're going to play a C5, which is just the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the E. And you're going to strum the G string, C string, and E string, but not the A. And it'll sound just like that. Now let's go back to the beginning of this bar and play it together very slowly. You might have noticed a couple notes I threw in there in the video. Right there at the beginning, just that sort of bridged the gap between the words word what and the word and if you want to throw those in, those are completely optional. I just added them in sort of on the spot when I was recording because I thought it sounded nice. But according to tabs, if you want to play it as written, but that's not what's written on the tabs, that's just some extra. And if you wanted to do that, if you got comfortable with what's on the tabs first and felt like adding those 2 extra notes in, all I did was after that chord, I left the chord there and picked the C string and then the E string. which of course still has our finger on it. Those are the only 2 notes I added, but I came up with those on the spot when I was recording. So we're going to play this bar together now as it's written on the tabs. Nice and slow. If you're feeling a little comfortable with this, of how it's going already, then let's go ahead and play it a little bit faster. And that's how to play the first bar of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. To get the rest of the tutorial and all the tabs, go to ukeondemand.com and make sure to subscribe below so you don't miss our upcoming fingerstyle songs. We'll see you next time.